first story I'm going to tell tonight is a story entitled, I Am, But I Don't Look It. Homosexuality has to be hereditary. It was my destiny to be a lesbian. My parents were gay heterosexuals. My father was a fairy, and my mother was more butch than I'll ever hope to be. My father dressed like a cross between a pimp and a queen. My father loved bright clothes, and all his clothes had to match. My father had outfits. Red shirt, red pants, red shoes, red suede shoes, yellow shirt, yellow check pants, white shoes with a white matching belt, an outfit that used to be called the full Cleveland. My father hated sports. My father loved Broadway musicals. And whenever he drank from a cup, he used to lift one pinky. Homo. My mother was a bull dyke. She was 4 foot 10 inches tall. She had more muscles in one arm than my father had in both of his put together. My mother wore sneakers that she bought in the boys' department. My mother never wore makeup. My mother still has the makeup that she wore at her wedding. Well, there's still some left over. Why should I throw it away? Statistics say that 1 in every 10th person is a homosexual. Let's try that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ding, 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 ding. SherryNetherland, you're our 10th customer. Don Pardo, tell her what she's won. Well, Sherry, you have won a gift certificate to the U-Haul center of your choice, a pool table, and a lifetime supply of dyke drama. But I pass, which is code for pass for straight. So no matter how hard I try, no matter where I am, no one believes I'm a lesbian. I'm just not gay enough. I know I don't look like a typical lesbian, which is in fact why for the longest time when I was growing up, I actually didn't think I was a lesbian, because I didn't know any lesbians. Well, I knew who the lesbians were. They didn't wear bras, they didn't shave their legs, and they had wallets in their back pockets with these weird chains that used to attach to their belt loops. But they weren't my friends. I mean, I was a little afraid of these girls. These were the tough girls. I mean, I shave my legs, I wear makeup, I worry about my manicure. I wasn't like any of them, so why would I think I was any of them? So at my first job, I made my first lesbian friend, Judy. Judy was my first lesbian friend. Judy was also my first, but that's a whole nother story altogether. Oh, no, cool, lesbian. Oh, yeah, no, I've got a problem with that. Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. Oh, yeah. And she wasn't a bull dyke. She was what I came to learn later was a soft butch. She didn't wear a bra, but she shaved her legs. Judy was a nice person, and soon she was inviting me to her parties at her house and out with her friends, her lesbian friends. We went to movies and concerts with other lesbians. I was soon part of a city league softball team, all lesbians. We were sponsored by a lesbian bar. I was comfortable in a lesbian bar, just us girls. But of course, I'm not a lesbian. Oh, sure, I had lesbian friends, but I hadn't had sex with a woman at this point, and I figured that must be at least the minimum requirement for calling yourself a homosexual. I mean, it's right there in the word. Having someone with someone of the same sex, homosexual. It wasn't called homo-frienduality. Well, one day the girls were planning a trip to a lesbian music festival, and they asked if I was planning to go, and I said, oh, no, I'm not a lesbian. And they turned to me and they said, Sherry, you only have lesbian friends, you only go to lesbian bars, you are on a lesbian softball team. Sweetie, you're a dyke. Oh. Well, hey, wait a minute. How is that possible? I have 27 bottles of nail polish in my refrigerator. I shave my legs. And then it hit me. I looked around the room, and for the first time I saw it. Lesbians weren't just one thing. They weren't all braless, hairy-legged, wallet-chain-wearing women in Nikes. They were everything. Butch, femme, tall, short, stylish, sloppy, professional, blue-collar, her, and me. And then suddenly there was clarity for me. So many things in my past crystallized in a burst of awareness. My getting all excited at 10 years old by pictures of topless tribal women in the National Geographic magazine was meaningful. I wasn't just comfortable in a lesbian bar. I belonged in a lesbian bar. I am a typical lesbian. Of course, what we define as typical is generally what we can define. But what we define is invariably what we see. The obvious, the foreshores, of course, anybody who's breathing knows that. The tail ends of the bell curve, or the not typical. Well, I'm the center of the bell curve then. Oh, and I have a gay lifestyle. Oh yeah, like millions of gay people, I have a gay lifestyle. I get up, I go to work, I come home, I have dinner, I watch TV, I go to bed. Oh yeah, I'm gay. Because that's the gay lifestyle of millions of homosexuals in the world. But strangely enough, I never think about how gay I am, except when I'm in a lesbian bar. You know, I've been single since my girlfriend dumped me last January. I'll repeat that in case anyone's interested. I'm single. So I decided it was time to go back to what I know, lesbian bars. And before going out, I must have spent an hour in front of the mirror trying to find the perfect outfit to enhance my lesbianness. I was going for maximum butchitude. Too femme, too femme, too femme, too polyester. How'd that get in there? Ah, I thought, I know. Leather. Nothing smacks of butch like leather. I'm going old school. Oh yeah. I like to call this outfit Safe Butch. So I go to Moonshadow in North Hollywood, which is conveniently located down the street from here. I purchase a cup of coffee, no whipped cream, I shun that feminist. And I found a seat by the dance floor to watch the girls. And after a short period of time, a very butch young girl comes over. I'm sure she was carded to get in, but let's just say she's 12. And then she proceeded to talk nonstop at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and in about 15 minutes I learned that she was from Westchester County, New York, all about her sister, her nephews, her father, her odyssey to coming to California, that she was studying to be an X-ray tech, which dyke bars in Manhattan were her favorites. Oh, well, there's a topic I know something about. Ah, I happen to mention that my favorite dyke bars in LA were now out of business. And then she turned to me and she said, "You're a lesbian?" And I said, "Isn't this a lesbian bar?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I just thought you came in for a drink." And I said, "Because this is a lesbian bar. I'm wearing leather, for crying out loud." But maybe not leather enough. I like to call this outfit Sexy Butch. Now, you should know in this story that I'm also wearing a very low-cut top and a really good bra. So this time I decided to go to the Oxwood, an old dyke bar that caters to old dykes. It's affectionately known in the community as Menopause Manor. And I hadn't been there for a while. So the entrance of the bar is off the parking lot, so you have to imagine that you're coming off the parking lot and you're walking down a long hallway until you actually get into the bar. So I walk down the hallway, gearing up for my evening, And I happened to notice, as soon as I enter the bar, it's crowded, and out of the corner of my eye, I notice there's a male bartender. And I thought, gee, that's kind of progressive for this bar, because this is a really separatist bar. I mean, the women who come to this bar don't even shop in the women's department at the store. It's a serious lesbian bar. And it's very crowded, and I go over to the bar, order a drink, and then I turn around. And as I turn around, a guy comes by, and he's trying to maneuver past me, and he squeezes in front of me. And as he squeezes in front of me, he looks down at my cleavage, and he says, "Impressive." At that moment, I did not realize that the correct answer would have been, "Because they're real." Because it wasn't until I had a full view of the bar, waiting for my drink, that I noticed there were no women in the bar. Well, no original women in the bar. Because it was wall-to-wall, male-to-female, transgendered women and the men who love them. In fact, it was tranny night at the Oxwood. I was told by the woman standing next to me at the bar, Carrie, a self-proclaimed granny tranny, because she was a 71-year-old transgender woman, that every Wednesday and Saturday night was TG night at the Oxwood. Yes, we started coming about 2 years ago. We'd like more lesies to come, but they really don't come anymore. I wondered if she knew where they went. Because I want to go there. And I was struck with the sudden realization that I was the only one in the bar whose vagina was original equipment. So Carrie and I hung out at side-by-side bar stools for a while. She gave me the skinny on who in the bar was pre-op, post-op, non-op, who could do the best clothing alterations for women with linebackers, shoulders, and no hips. Then a cowboy half her age came over to hit on her, and I moved over to the pool table to hang out. I was making new friends, and I actually was becoming quite popular, seeing as how I had the inside track to girly things. They knew I started out as a double X chromosome. I made friends with Sharon, who had long hair, all her own, which was the envy of every male to female tranny with the misfortune of male pattern baldness. You don't think about that, do you? Oh, yeah. We struck up a conversation about shoes. What girl doesn't love to talk shoes? And I remarked how lucky you can find size 11 shoes almost anywhere nowadays. But, she replied, crossing her legs, flexing her foot, showing off a cute pair of strappy sandals that I would kill for a size 12, you still need to shop online. Oh. So Sharon asked me what I was doing there, and I replied, maybe too quickly, that I was cruising for girls. And she said, "Well, honey, we're all girls here. Just depends on how much girl you want." But I left shortly after that because men started sending drinks over. And Sharon whispered, "Oh, that's George. He just loves women." Well, I didn't come to a lesbian bar for George. So finally, in a lesbian bar, and I'm going to repeat that, in a lesbian bar, on tranny night, I'm too gay. So I took my sexy butch self home.